Hello, welcome to On Location with Murray and our man Jeff back there. And we have a special guest today, Jessey Church from Aberdeen Glen, my favorite local course. And actually, it's a can I say it? It's a championship course.
Championship course of the North, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, eh?
Yeah.
It's a tough course too.
Very tough course. And, we have a lot of people that come in from not only out of town, but out of province, out of country that are very surprised at us having, like Prince George having that quality of golf course, just because so far away from any major center, right?
Yeah. And see, we're lucky to have a guy like you and your family that created that course. So we'd love to dive back into that after we tell you.
We can do that for sure, yeah.
Okay. You're the pro now.
Yep.
The course. And your grandpa started the course. We'll get to that, but we want to get to know you. Like, I'm friends with you, but we don't all know you. So
yeah, no, I'm.
Where were you born? Where are you?
Yeah, so born in actually in Richmond, British Columbia, because my grandma lived down there and she was a nurse, so we went down there. Me and both my sisters were actually born down there because then it gave mom and dad a little bit of recoup time with family around. Nice. Then came back up here. I've always lived in Prince George. That's always been kind of the family's base of operations. I lived in Belize for a couple of years. My grandpa and my dad had a water treatment type plan thing that they went over there. Yeah. They bid on it. This was about 5 years before the golf course opened. Yeah. So they bid on that, and we went over there and we put in a full water and sewer system. Or they did. I was 5.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Good experience.
Just picked up at 4 or 5 years old and shipped literally halfway around the world. Yeah. So it was a ton of fun.
Shock,
a little bit of culture shock, but you know what? At that point, like obviously not old enough to remember all of it, but talking with my family and everybody that was there at the time, there was, as much as there was culture shock, it's also when you're that young, there's just kind of a universal fun, right? That you just get to have. Yeah. So, and then after that, the golf course opened up shortly after that.
When you were around 10? Did I do my math?
Opened in 99, yeah. So I was 8 that time because I'm a late 90s baby. Okay. And then, so we celebrated our 25th anniversary last year. Wow, so we're in year 26 and still going strong right now.
I like it, buddy.
Yeah.
So you've had golf in your life, your whole life? Pretty much?
Yeah. Since the age of, I would say probably since the age of 10 was when I started to get really into it. And to be honest with you, if the family wouldn't have gone down that road, I don't think it would have even registered on my radar. Yeah. Like I was 8, 9 years old. It's not like I was, you hear about these young guys that are on the tour and everything like that. And they're like, oh, I knew at 4 years old that's what I wanted to do. I started hitting balls at 2. I was never on that radar. Yeah. So.
But you must have been pretty good at a young age. But picking up.
No, I didn't start playing competitively till I was, and competitively is a very relative term, till I was 15 or 16.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I started playing when I was 10 or 11. That's when the golf bug kind of bit me. But it was never. I mean, as you know from being a competitive athlete, a little bit different. You were team sports, but there's not, unless you're going to travel down to the hubs like Vancouver into Edmonton, Calgary, right? There's not really a whole pile of exposure. Yeah. And there's not that many events that'll come up here. Usually you've got to travel for those events, and I wasn't really, until 15, 16, wasn't really hopped up on it. So we just never really went down that road. I played junior events here. There used to be events in Williams Lake and Quesnel and stuff like that. And I just kind of went into them because that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. But once I turned 15, 16, I started to get a little bit more serious about it because my goal at that point was obviously wanted to play professionally, but I wanted to become a club pro as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So through the PGA of Canada and everything like that. So at the time there was a certain metric that you had to be able to do for playing.
And you reached your goal now.
I've reached that goal. Yeah, absolutely. So
can you take us from 15, 16, you're playing tournaments. How did you become who you are now? How'd you get there? And Q school, did you go to Q?
I did go to Q school, yeah. Okay, so when I was 15, 16.
Two questions at once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 15, 16, I kind of made the decision I wanted to be a pro because I knew that as long as the golf course was in the family, I was going to somehow be tied to the world of golf. And I figured at that time, I want to teach. I love teaching. You and I share that passion a little bit. Yeah. Want to teach, and I want to help people get better. As much as I wanted to get better, I also loved that side of it. So that was just the kind of the smartest way to go about this. So I graduated high school, had to wait a year because, again, I was a late birthday. And then the following year I went and declared my intention to turn professional, which is what you have to do for the PGA Canada. Essentially, you just have to sign up for one of their tournaments to do that. And so I did that. Didn't get it the first year. I went to 2 different places, didn't get it the first year, and then the second year.
Make the cut or something?
So at the time, you had to shoot a certain score over what the course is rated at.
Okay.
So like Aberdeen, from the white tee boxes, were a par 73, but our rating is, I think we're 71.
So you have to play 71 or better?
So you have to play, no, so it was like 7 over par each day. So I think it was a total of 15 over par, 15 over the course rating.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be 80, it'd be 77.
Okay.
Or sorry, 78 is what I would have to shoot. So 2 under
I see.
that mark. So I didn't get it the first 2 times, but then I went to Williams Lake and got it on the number. So I turned pro basically, I turned pro basically right out of high school, which hindsight,
amazing.
Which is, I mean, there's turning pro and there's turning pro, right? I mean, hindsight, we probably could have went a different way and done college golf and done all that kind of stuff.
Got
but
more
again,
experience first.
Absolutely, right? And you know, maybe there was a path to the professional ranks, like the tour ranks, through that venue. But my mentality with being in the north and everything like that was, nope, I got to turn pro so I can start playing on the Vancouver Golf Tour, which I did, and go through it that way. Yeah, which was amazing. I've got 1 career win, and it's on the Vancouver Golf Tour. So
do you really? Nice.
There's a winter tour event, 1-day event at Sandpiper, and I got it done. And that was actually after I went to Q school a couple of times and didn't get through, and I kind of came back, and that was when my now wife and I started dating. Kim, started dating, and she's like, just go down. It's a 1-day thing. Drive down, play, come back, whatever. So I did, and wound up winning it, and wound up chasing my tail for a couple more years trying to play competitively, awesome. And then the rest is history from there.
The tournaments. So average Joe Murray Laidlaw. I can sign up for tournaments at Aberdeen. There's some cool ones. Eh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we've got the ones that we put on, right? We've got the Ironman, which is the 2-man scramble from the very back tees to absolutely insane pin positions, which is a ton of fun. We sell that out every year. That's kind of where golf is trending to, actually.
Really?
And as a solo competitor for so long, it's kind of sad to see, but a lot of golf courses are getting away from that men's open style.
Really? Okay.
I can guarantee, if I sign up for a 2-man event, I can guarantee that I'm going to play with at least one person that I know the entire time, right? Yeah. And I don't have to rely on just my golf ball the entire time. So I can have fun, have a couple of pops, right? And enjoy myself.
Everybody loves it.
Oh, it's
every year.
It's easily our most successful tournament.
Yeah.
And then right after that, or sorry, like 3 weeks after that, we have the ladies 2-ball, which again is kind of where, especially for Aberdeen. I mean, there's a lot of ladies that it's an intimidating golf course for good players, but there's trees, there's hills, that kind of stuff. It's just an compared to a Prince George Golf and Curling Club or an Aspen.
You can spray it.
You can hit it anywhere and not really, and it's longer, right? So there's quite a few ladies that are intimidated by it, and for good reason. So we do a ladies 2-ball, which is similar to the Ironman. We just don't make it as tough. And then our individual tournament, our men's open, which is third weekend in July.
Oh, the 4. Is it the 4-man?
No, that's we don't do. No, that's the Brown Ridge.
Oh, Brown Ridge, yeah, that's popular too.
That's very popular. So that's a 4-man Ironman.
Okay.
So from the very back tees, absolutely insane pin positions. And we do one of the days at Aberdeen and one of the days down at the PG Golf and Curling Club. So showing a little bit of unity in the community.
That's cool.
Which is something that, 10 years ago, I would have told you would never happen.
Oh, really?
There used to be a very hard divide between the players that played it, and not all of them, but a majority of them, that I only play at PG, I will only play at PG, I will never go up to Aberdeen, I will only play at Aberdeen, I will never go to PG, right? And it was it's silly, but at the same time, people were pledging their kind of allegiance, and then now, I don't know if I should say this on camera, but the best thing to ever happen to the golf industry as a whole was when COVID hit.
Oh yeah, I got
super
popular.
popular.
Yeah.
Because it was the only, like, it's the only sport that encourages social distancing.
Yeah.
Right. I can't stand right next to you. I'm not trying to hit you. I'm not trying to take something out of your hands.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even something like volleyball where you're playing on opposite sides of the net, you still at some point you're going to be touching something that somebody else has touched.
Yeah.
Right. Or you're up at the net where somebody else is breathing on you. Right. So we saw a huge spike in popularity, and it hasn't really, we've started to notice a bit of a drop, but it's nothing that's unconquerable. Let's put it that way, right? We were slightly concerned right now with everything going on, and the kind of financial stuff that's going on across the border, and up here, that there would be a lot of people that backed out. But I think what we're going to see more of is you're going to see the people that buy the pass, but they're going to back off on the other stuff. So maybe not as many visits to the restaurant, maybe not as many chips and chocolate bars, or grabbing one less bevy after the round type thing. So we'll see how that goes. This is the first year that I've been in, more of a management role, that we've had that kind of financial crisis kind of looming behind.
So that's on your back too.
A little bit, for sure. I mean, we've got, we're already fighting the clock with how short our season is.
Oh, against the snow.
Right. So, a year like this year where, it wasn't a terrible winter, but it seems to be dragging out just because it's not warming up as fast. I mean, today's the first day that PG's open. Pine Valley's been open for, I think, 3 weeks now.
Okay. And you guys are you still snow blowing?
We've cleared off a couple of greens.
Yeah.
But we just opened the driving range on Friday. So it's slow, but it's coming, and we're kind of taking the process of, we'd rather take the extra week, open up when we're in really, really good shape, than rush it, be in poor shape, and have everybody upset.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People will wait. It's just like going to a restaurant, right? You can go to McDonald's and get your meal in 5 minutes. Right? Or you can go to a beautiful sit-down restaurant and you're there for 3.5 hours, but it's worth the wait.
True
right?
That.
So that's kind of how we're the approach that we're taking with it.
Nice. Well, I love Aberdeen.
We love having you at Aberdeen.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be there as much as I can this year when I'm around.
I was going to say, you've got all sorts of invites down in the Lower Mainland now that you got to.
Yeah, it's good.
You made so many. You got better contacts down there than I got.
Oh, I appreciate that, buddy. I'll hook you up anytime. I got to tell a story about Steve then.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
One day on set, we got off early. It was an 8-hour day or something. And
only 8.
Yeah. There was a lot of sun. Well, I was chipping and putting most of the day. Yeah. But there's still some sunshine. So Steve and I went to a Rupert pitch and putt.
Yep.
And I brought I think a 52, 56, and a putter.
Yep.
He shows up with just his 58 degree. And he had to leave after 15 holes, but he was 7 under. He was putting with his 58 degree. 7 under.
Sounds like Steve.
It's like, what the? Blew my mind.
Unfortunately, that sounds exactly like
it's
Steve.
crazy.
Yeah. But that's like, it's just insane. Like, there's a big push on the YouTube golf side right now, right? And you and I have talked about doing a little bit of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But where, they'll get, I think I saw one with Scotty Scheffler where they're like, hey, pick the club that you think would be the easiest, and it's him versus 4 guys on one hole, and pretty much routinely the Tour Pro wins because they're just so creative and they are just able to do things with that golf ball that nobody understands.
And just so consistent.
Without even thinking about it. Yeah, I need to do this. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like I played volleyball obviously in high school because of my extreme height advantage at 5'6". But the guys that you played against, like with serving and stuff like that, like the way that they were able to drop it into, areas this big, right? And without even thinking about it, they're like, yeah, I want to put it there. I know exactly what I need to do. Like, it's got to be very similar to that.
Yeah.
Has to be. Looping back to Grandpa, I remember being with him in Hawaii right after I graduated, and he designed 95% of Aberdeen Glen.
Oh, wow. Your grandpa did?
My grandpa did.
Okay.
There was no, he didn't bring in a designer. There was, sorry, I'll rephrase that. He brought in a designer that wanted to do the whole golf course, and he said, no, I've got the golf course covered. I just want you to do the greens. Cool. And as a golfer, right, you know that there's a lot of name recognition that comes with having a good designer,
Yeah.
right? Like in Surrey, Northview, right? They've got 18
Heard of
holes
it.
designed by Arnold Palmer,
Oh, nice.
right? And they say that this is the Arnold Palmer designed Northview. I think it's the Ridge course, right? So that brings a certain cachet.
And price tag. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this gentleman had come in and he said, well, if I don't get to design the whole thing, then I don't want my name on it. And that was fine. He said, yeah, that's okay. It's Prince George. Nobody's really gonna.
Yeah.
It's up north. Nobody's really gonna care. So he would come up and he just did the greens. That's all he did. So he would come up and they'd kind of go over plans for these 3 greens. My grandpa would go, okay. And we had an excellent team of, obviously the way that Aberdeen's laid out, we had an excellent team of earth movers and guys that had done
It's unreal.
a lot of city services and stuff like that. So they know how to work with grade and all of that kind of stuff. And they would build the greens, and then he'd come up for the next 3. He'd kind of check those 3, go, yep, this is good. They'd do the next 3, and then he'd leave, and then come back and leave and come
Consultant.
back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So he wasn't the designer, but he was the greens consultant.
Yeah. But a big bill attached to that, I'm assuming too. Wow.
You know what? I'm sure it was. Like, I'm sure it wasn't free, obviously, but I don't think it would have been as much as if he would have done the entire thing, because now his name's not attached to it. If your name's attached to it, you're going to want something.
That's true.
Right? Like Jack Daniels isn't like that name is worth something, right? So you can charge whatever you want for it.
Yeah.
Right? Same with this designer, right? Yeah, I can charge whatever I want for it because you want me to do the whole golf course.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I want you to just do the greens.
And he had a vision.
Okay. He knew exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, and I heard he had a vision for community too, and like
Oh yeah.
accessibility. So he actually will allow jeans, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like he wasn't super strict.
And this is all just abject rumors,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure that there's a kernel of truth there, but what the rumor that has been populous was that he had gone down to the golf and curling club in jeans and a golf shirt, all that kind of stuff, and they had turned him away. So that out of spite, he built a golf course. And that is just patently not true.
I've heard that story.
Yeah, of course, everybody has, right? And it's just patently not true. I don't think that being turned away for not having an appropriate dress code would cause somebody to be so spiteful
To build their own
golf course, right? That's a multi-million-dollar investment because you wouldn't let me wear my jeans, right? But he spent a ton of time researching. He spent a lot of time down in the kind of in the Pacific Northwest and into Arizona and Nevada and stuff like that. He actually eventually wound up buying a place down in Palm Springs.
Oh, nice.
At a golf course down there. But he spent a lot of time researching it because if he was going to do it, he wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
And I remember being in after I graduated, him and I and 2 others went to Hawaii.
Nice.
And we were talking and we're on this hole and they had a bunker short right on, I think it was like the 5th hole or something like that. And he had hit one in there, hit a high weak slice into there. And he goes, that has got to be the dumbest place to put a bunker. And I go, what are you talking about? I was like, that's where your ball went. I mean, like, obviously, cocky 18-year-old thinks he's a tour pro, right? Well, don't hit your ball there. He goes, no, 90% of golfers, it's gotten less, but at that time, 90% of golfers, 85% of golfers are right-handed, and 90% of that 90% hit the ball from left to right. Left to right usually comes up short. Left to right usually doesn't roll out much. So to put as many hazards as this particular golf course had, short right was making it less enjoyable for the golfers. So that's why, like at our place, there's some that are there, absolutely, but they're there to punish shots from poor angles. Like on hole number 1, right? We've got a bunker that's short right, but if you play that hole the way that it's designed to be played, so you hit it to the middle, down to the 100-yard marker, that's not really in play.
Yeah.
Right? But the one long left is.
We always try to go for it on 2.
As you should.
Over the trees, yeah.
As you should, especially now that those trees aren't, like, you remember, and this would have been kind of right when you were getting into it, but they used to have that 5 or 6 trees that were right along that ridge, and now there's a couple of them that are gone. Okay, so it's gotten far easier to go after that over the last 2 or 3 years, just because they weren't they get hit, right? So they get injured, all that kind of stuff. So it has cleared out a little bit up there, but we were looking at some old actually just before you texted me, we were looking at some old pictures, and the amount of foliage and flora that has grown up there is just insane. Like, you look at pictures from 15 years ago, it's all of a sudden it's unrecognizable.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's gorgeous now.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it up there. And like you were talking about with the community and everything, right? He had a very clear mind and a very clear picture of this is how it's going to go. This is what's going to kind of function into this, and then this will funnel into that area.
Yeah.
And it's turned into one of the, in my opinion, one of the most desirable places to live in Prince George.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to.
Right. And there's a lot of people that in this town, right? And I know that you know this because you've lived here for so long, or that's where your mailing address is, anyways. That going across that bridge, the John Hart Bridge, is too far
For a lot of people.
Yeah. I can't. You'll drive. They'll drive to Walmart
Yeah.
from the exact same spot, but no, going up there is too far.
Oh, it's a different town up there.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Well,
Hart Boy.
yeah. Right. And your family's out on the other end.
Yeah.
Right? Darcy
loves
and
College
Heidi,
Heights now.
right?
Yeah.
And they love College Heights because everything's close. I get that. I appreciate that. But Darcy will also say, that's not that far. It's 5 minutes.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Like from Earls, I time it every year. From Earls, which is what I consider kind of the center of town.
Yeah.
Right?
50th and Central.
50th and Central, yeah. It's like 8 minutes to our gates. That's not
Like the
that
speed
long.
limit. Yeah.
At the speed limit and probably hitting the light on Fifth.
Yeah.
Right? That's not that far. I'm sorry.
Grabbing a coffee on the way at Timmy's on Fifth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's an easy in and out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he had a very clear mindset for what was going to go in there, and I think the only thing that he kind of missed a beat on was the restaurant approach, like the clubhouse.
But now it's great.
It is, but I think it should have been bigger.
Oh, like, okay.
Right,
Fair enough.
for us to be able to facilitate bigger events and do all that kind of stuff.
More room inside.
I mean, we can get about 155 people up there for a tournament and that kind of thing.
Seating outside.
Seating, and you're jamming it, right?
Yeah.
But anything over that, we kind of wind up losing out to
PG?
PG for sure, but other venues, right? So they'll come
Yeah.
up, they'll do the golf up there, but then they'll go have dinner somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right, which is, I mean, it's not great, but because they're still doing their booze sales and everything like that through us. But to have that dinner really solidifies a good day,
Yeah, that's true.
right, for us.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I like the after round pints as well.
yeah, after round pints are good.
Yeah, absolutely, which we'll have to do again soon.
Well-
Okay, so we've gone through your long-term plan, where you're from,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then your grandpa's long-term plan with Aberdeen, which he has successfully done.
Yeah, I would say I would call it a success.
Very, very successful. And can we talk about the rumor? I just saw it on social media, the rumor that it was getting sold or something. Like, no.
So every couple years that rumor surfaces.
Which is that Aberdeen's being sold.
Every couple of years that rumor surfaces, especially after we have, a good year or something like that. Well, now that they're going to sell at the top, everything like that. And after my grandpa passed away, those rumors just spiked,
for
right?
sure,
Because he was the owner, he was the creator, he was right. So those rumors just jumped through the roof, and finally got to the point where we were being asked. I was almost being asked every day by somebody that I saw, hey, are you guys for sale? What's going on? And our thought process was that it could potentially affect past sales, people coming up, because
if it's not locally owned.
there's not just that, but what if somebody shuts it down, turns it into a 9-hole golf course and wants to make it all development? Right? Not that I think that would ever happen, but if somebody buys it, we can't control that.
Yeah.
Right? So there's been in the last decade, there's been a lot of turmoil in the north with that. Quinnell's gone through a couple of ownerships, and now they have a good group of people that live in Quinnell, that are invested in Quinnell, that own it, that have kind of kept it there. I know that 108 has gone through some turmoil the last few years with ownership and everything like that, and it has, we've been watching that because that's kind of our barometer, right? The smaller courses are what we kind of base some of our decisions on when it comes to when to post things and social media stuff. And I saw last year that there was a post about 108 saying our memberships are for sale for next year, buy now to get this year's pricing. And there's a bunch of comments on there. Don't buy. We don't know if they're shutting down or not. We don't know what's going on. We're hearing all these rumors. And I brought that to my dad, the owner now, and he kind of goes, I think we need to address on our end. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing, but
Perfect,
I think that we did a couple of paragraphs basically saying that it's all rumors. We're community owned, everything like that, and not community owned. We're locally owned, and always have been, and always, hopefully always will be.
Always intend to.
Right?
Yeah.
Always intend to. We've had 25 great years. We're looking forward to the next 25 and,
awesome.
and beyond.
Okay.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I would love to, and the community would love to have you here for the next 25 years.
yeah, that'd be great.
Which is awesome. But what if there's, because I know you were a golfer in the past and you still are a golfer, but now your passion is coaching and running
For sure.
the golf course.
Yeah.
So if you could do one thing and you knew you couldn't fail and money was no object.
So define fail for me.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Like,
good
are
point.
you guaranteeing that I'm going to succeed at what I'm doing,
Yeah,
or are
you're-
you saying that there's no bottom? Like I can chase this for as long as I want, and there's no negative repercussions.
Sure, maybe both.
Okay.
You'll hit your
Well,
goal.
if it's I can't fail, then obviously,
Yeah.
like my big thing would be to I would have two probably. I mean, I know that's a cop out, but personally, it would be to go back down south and kind of chase that tour dream again, right? And if you're telling me that I'm going to make it, then that's obviously the easiest solution, because
you're going to win some huge tournament and then you're right in.
and then you're done, right? And then you're playing this weekend looking for a green jacket.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, I would love to, like, as more of a community, I guess, oriented goal or idea would be to take Aberdeen to the absolute nth level that it could be.
Nice.
Right? And you and I talked off camera about that a little bit, right? But I would like, prior to COVID, right? And this rumor has gotten around a little bit, but I don't think anybody realizes how close we actually were to it. But we were, I think you and I have talked about this too with Darcy. We were shortlisted. We basically had a Canadian tour event that was going to come there, which was phenomenal. We had their crew come out kind of the fall before, and they told us how we would have to. There was two big things that we had to change. We had to hole number 6, the par 3.
Okay, yeah.
The mounds had to come out,
Okay.
which are gone now.
Yeah, they
So
are.
that's a positive. And then the other thing that had to happen was that number 4, the hard dog leg right, would have to be turned into a par 3, because we can't have them go pitching wedge.
Wow, so would you have to clear that corner of trees or something?
No, well, two options. Either we clear the corner,
Yeah.
and the option that we were going to go for was we were going to build a tee box kind of down below next to the bunkers on 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So below
Makes
the
sense.
red, which makes it a very, very, it's like a 180-yard par 3, and it
Uphill.
narrow with bunkers it's designed to be played as a par 4, but now we're going to make you hit a 5 iron.
Yeah.
Right? For you and I, for those guys, it's a 7 iron. But now you got to hit this shot to a super narrow green that was designed
Bunkers.
to be hit from the 100-yard marker, not from diagonal to it.
Yeah.
So we were shortlisted for that, and then I mean, it was a good thing because COVID hit, so we wouldn't have gotten it anyways, or it wouldn't have come to fruition anyways.
So you would have put all this money on changing it and then...
Exactly. So we the big hindrance there was that it's you need to locally raise $500,000. That's what the sponsorship is to pay out the field. They obviously kick some in, the Canadian Tour does, but you have to have $500,000 thereabouts to host, right? So that's like, so it'd be like the Canadian Tire, Aberdeen, whatever, right? Like you're not getting that out of Sleeman Breweries,
Yeah,
right?
true.
They're gonna do a multinational brand switch for $500,000. So that just wasn't in the cards for us at that point. And then when COVID hit, anyways, we just kind of counted it as a blessing because the golf course was busier than it ever had been. Right, that first year after post COVID was our second year. So 2021 was our busiest ever year because we didn't start until later with the first year because we had to wait until like the beginning of June or something like that, which was awesome because the course was we still had our employees out there working and everything like that safely.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But being able to come out in that good a shape, and then that just carried into the next year, and we kind of haven't looked back since.
It's just gorgeous now.
Oh, it's phenomenal, and they're always making changes. I mean, you've followed the Facebook page and everything like that, so we've done lot of little things, right? We're not dumping a whole pile of capital into a lot of things, but it's making all the little things that make the big things stand out more.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, so those would be circling back. Those would be my two things. Is that if I'd be able to get myself set up down in Arizona or something like that, but it's hey, you got 5 years and as much, or 10 years, or whatever the barometer is, and you got as much money as you want, and you can chase this for these 10 years. But at 10 years, you're done. That's what I would do. 110%.
Awesome. Boom. Focus on
Yeah,
that.
100%.
So you're doing your thing for the next 10 years, golfing, becoming like really awesome, and being a pro. I am, which you already are awesome, obviously. But then I'm chasing my acting dream, but golfing as much as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. Golfing with my buddies down south, up here. Lots of good golfers around.
Tons.
And then, so I'm successful TV and film. Yeah, and then eventually I'll start, and commercials. Eventually I'll just be asked. I won't have to audition so much, Yeah. Like they know who I am. Okay, if you want your name in this hat, yes. Okay, I'll be one of the picks, hopefully. So in 10 years, when you've got all your trophies and the green jacket and whatever you got, and then that'd be cool to have a bus. Because I did have a bus for a bit. And I do have this dream. I would love to have like a bus with seating for 8 or 12 or whatever, or at least 2 foursomes and the driver, and then have a little studio, and you could go promote courses, go course to course in BC or whatever, and then eventually go global. So maybe 10 years from now, when we're both successful in our own ways.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how the. This area, the space that we're in right now, the space that we're utilizing of the larger space. You could probably fit this in the back of a bus.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Very easily. Yeah. I think you could do that.
Jeff's a magician. He could make it
I
work.
believe it. Yeah. Oh, we got to bring Jeff too.
Oh yeah,
I'm in. Then I'm sold.
For sure.
In. Jeff's coming. I'm in.
All right, buddy.
Love it.
Well, I know we could talk forever, but I think this is this.
That's pretty much an hour, bud. You nailed it.
Jesse, thanks, brother.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to golfing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.